The fan said the phone was crushed by a car. There is an important video on the phone that he didn't have time to back up, and it's extremely important to him. He asked me to make sure to preserve the data inside. When I spoke with him on the phone, he choked up several times. To see a strong, iron-willed man cry, what kind of story could be hidden in this phone? We began by disassembling the phone. We removed the motherboard. We could see that the motherboard was slightly deformed. We tested it with a power meter. The motherboard was drawing high current and was extremely hot. Some people quietly watched the video, but secretly like, comment, share, repost, and follow. Such people are really adorable. We noticed that the shield at this location had been pressed and deformed. We soldered a piece of solder wire onto the positive test point of the motherboard after powering it on. We placed it under a thermal imaging camera. We started searching for the source of heat on the motherboard. We repeatedly checked under the thermal imaging camera. We found that both the front and back sides of the CPU were heating up, but we couldn't accurately pinpoint the specific source of heat. We used wire cutters to cut open the shield near the CPU just a little. Then, we applied flux to both sides of the motherboard. After powering it on again, we checked for the heat source. Though the whole motherboard was heating up, the flux didn't melt right away. We still couldn't pinpoint the exact location of the heat source. This phone has a dual-layer motherboard, so the fault might be inside the lower layer. We heated and separated the upper and lower layers of the motherboard. After separating the layers, we tested the power again. We found that the high current was still present. This confirmed that the issue was in the lower motherboard layer. We cleaned the motherboard and examined it under a microscope. We discovered that the power IC was cracked. The power IC is located on the back of the CPU. No wonder we kept detecting heat at the CPU location. We removed the cracked power IC. We cleaned the pads and installed a new power IC. Then, we tested the power again. The motherboard no longer leaked electricity. We pressed the power button. The current was now normal. We proceeded to reassemble the smaller upper board. Then, we cleaned the motherboard. We reattached the shield stickers we had removed. Now, we placed the motherboard back into the casing to test it. The screen was shattered. We needed to connect an external screen for testing. After powering it on, we tested all the functions. Since the entire casing was deformed, we advised the fan to replace the screen with an original one, including the casing, at the after-sales service. At this point, our repair work was finished. Finally, the fan allowed me to watch the very important video. It turned out to be just a normal party clip. While drinking, tears started flowing as the hand that held onto the parting slowly loosened.